Hello, hello. This is Sandy from Doux Designs. Tonight, we're going to play with the Billy zombie from Hocus Pocus. So if you missed last night we did this one from Hocus Pocus, which was super fun. But tonight we're going to do a zombie. I know a lot of people struggle with zombie colors, so we're going to do that tonight. Also, in addition to that, you'll want to stick around because Dale made me a stencil to play with. So we'll be building the graveyard that Billy will be in with this stencil that Dale made for me. So this is a Doux Designs stencil. We're going to make, you know, the cemetery and all that fun stuff. So first we're going to color him and then we're going to do it. So this is him. He is from CC Designs, and I haven't decided which sentiment. This one is not very nice, but it's kind of funny. It says, "Wench trollop, you buck-toothed mop-riding firefly from hell." And this one says, "He's a good zombie." So it may end up being this one. But anyway, so prior to the video starting, I went ahead, because I don't have the die for this one, so I went ahead and stamped and cut him out so we could work on him right away, and you guys wouldn't have to watch me cut him out because, you know, around his hair is a little bit detailed. So we're going to go ahead and get started because we have some cool stuff to do tonight. If somebody could say hi so I can make sure I can see your comments, I would greatly appreciate it. Hey, Diana and Peggy and Sandra and Cheryl, and thank you, Cheryl. Okay, so normally when I do zombies, I do more of a greenish color skin tone. But tonight, because he's been dead a long time, he comes out of his grave in the movie. So we are going to use more of gray tones, but we're going to throw in a few bonus colors. So what I have right now, I have a lot because, you know, I'm not sure what all it'll take. I haven't done zombies very often, but in this case, I chose high up to N7. And then we'll have 6, 5, 4, and 3 for blending. The 0 will be like we do our E000 when we do regular skin tone, but tonight we're going to put underpaint with the N0. And then we also have a bit of green, a bit of a sand-ish color, and then we have an ivory color. So these 3 will get mixed in to give it the right kind of skin tone look. So bear with me. This is going to be a fun ride tonight. The rest of him will all be colored in, well, probably blues, browns, and black. So that's going to be the plan. So these circles around his eyes are deep black circles, like his eyes are sunken in. So we're going to start making those extremely dark. So don't forget when you first start seeing this. So I'm going to start off, like I said, with my N0, which is going to just underpaint like the whole thing, just to make sure that we have that base coat going to get the paper wet, and it will be on the eyes and everywhere. Now, I like him, and I like that his mouth is open and he's already been freed from the tied together. But we are actually going to tie him up again. So we will do that with one of the markers once we finish. We're going to actually tie his mouth shut again because I figured that would be fun, and the look is pretty cool and different than what you see right here. So we're going to play with that. So this is just putting in our base coat, and I chose the ends because they're a neutral gray. They don't lean too much towards either the warm or the cold. They're kind of more along the center line of grays. So that is why I chose this one. I didn't want to influence it either way. So I chose the ends. I think the T's might be my favorite, but I chose the ends for this particular one. I'm doing a second coat around his eyes because they're gonna have to be significantly darker than the rest of them. So I know we jumped right in. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing really good. My next color that I'm gonna work with, I need to get that light out of my eyes because I can't see what I'm doing. It's putting spots like the sun does, you know? I hope you guys are all doing okay. N7 right now is going to be our darkest color. If we need to come in with a different color, we can certainly do that here in just a little bit. But for right now, I think N7 is the darkest one that I want to use. So I'm going to start by going completely around his eyeball, as close as I can get. And then I'm going to move that up to the outside, this outside rim right here as well. So kind of the inside and the outside. You're glamping in Glen Rose? Wow. And you're ready for a long weekend, Peggy? Me too. What I love about the long weekend is that my hubby gets to have a long weekend too, so I get to hang out with him instead of him being at work. Okay, now I also want to do a bit of shadowing with this one, so I'm going to do some up here in where his hair is because there will definitely be shadow there. Kind of like I do with the E04, but tonight, because we have a zombie, it's going to be N7. You can use any color of grays that you want. It does sound fun. You can use any of the grays that you want, like whatever you have in your stash. We are not going to do any like blushy skin tones on the cheeks or anything like that. We are going to leave him very, very bland. And we also have to try to make him look a bit on the wrinkled side. So starting with the second color is when I'm going to start building in like some wrinkles and stuff on his skin. So we'll see how that turns out. I mean, I have it in my head, but who knows how it will transition onto paper. But we'll wing it and see how it goes. I do want shadow area on the hands and on the ear as well. So that's why I went ahead and did that. We'll put a little bit on his hand here. These are really cute. This is also CC Designs, kind of goes with their Hocus Pocus set of the flying witches and such. So, ooh. All right. So we're going to walk down just a little bit with the N6 is the next one down from the last one. And I'm going to start going away from the center eyeball and then down from the circle around his eye. I want to keep that pretty dark, so I won't be using all the colors on this eyeball area because I want to keep it darker. If it's not dark enough when I get done, I will definitely be going back in and darkening that up just a bit. Hey, Beth. So I'm going to extend out from where I put that, that first shadow color and just extend it a little bit further. But I'm also going to start building in some wrinkly skin. So it'll look really funny to start with, but I want to kind of build these in so that you'll see them when we blend them out. So we will definitely be blending them out so they won't stay like they are right now. So just bear with me. This is a work in progress and you're not going to see the awesome results until we're completely done. Super glad you joined us, Beth. Okay, extending out from this one. I know this is definitely a challenging thing for most people to do this. I'm going to go over this black area that's in his mouth, just because to me it looks like the ink didn't ink it up quite as dark as I wanted it to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in a little bit. Hi, Donna. Welcome, welcome. So now it's time to move down to N5. I'm going to do more of just the outside of the skin with N5. I'm not going to do a whole lot of usage of this color. I don't want to fill him in too gray at this point, although I will be doing around his eyes with this one because we have to keep those eyes darker than the rest of his skin. His dead skin, by the way. This is how we build a zombie who's been dead for quite some time. Okay, so working these eyes, we need to keep them really dark. So we just have a little bit left when we get done with this. So I go up from the inside darkest line and down from the top line so that his eyes are almost completely filled in. Hey, Meg. In fact, I want the one on that side to be even a little bit darker. Just checking for any more spaces that I might need this color to be on before I put it away. I may enhance some of these dark lines, the wrinkles that we built in there. Not all the way, but in different areas to make them a little bit thicker. Now, when I do a regular zombie, I usually put some blood red colors in there, but we're not going to be doing that because he's no longer bleeding. He's been dead a while. I came in on a good sentence, zombie who has been dead for a long time. Well, we have the zombies who just died and the ones who've been dead a long time. I don't remember how many years it is based on the movie, but it was a lot. Okay, extending out, this is N4. We're going to start building this in a little bit more. This is the last color before I start bringing in some of those other colors that I told you about that have different tones other than just gray. So I'm going to start extending the wrinkles and kind of building in on the wrinkles a bit. I don't want to sit on the wrinkle very long because it'll wash out that wrinkle and then you won't see it anymore. So I'm using like a pressure of 1 just to get a little bit of color over that versus washing it out. I don't want to wash it out, so this is very light touch going on right there. Now, he's already looking pretty cool. I'm liking it. But what's going to make it pop is going to be adding those other tones to it rather than just doing it completely in gray. I'm not a very good, like, what do they call that? Monotone coloring, where it's always, it's the same color, but in different shades. I am just terrible at that. I want to just add more color. I can't help myself. I just can't help myself. Okay, so next I'm going to add in, holy cow, a storm is coming in, Ira. I just saw a tree branch just hit the garage. I'll stay on as long as I can. Oh my gosh, Beth, I'm sorry. It stormed really bad here today too. Not quite that bad, but it definitely stormed pretty bad. And so bad that it triggered a migraine for me because when the pressure changes, it just triggers migraines. So I'm going to use a very light touch on this. I hope you'll be able to see it. I've done a little bit so far. So just adding a slight bit of natural type skin tone. This is the sand-ish color. I'm going to add a little bit to the eyes, but not a lot. I'll go over the nose, kind of over the gray areas and extending out just a little bit. This is going to give us a different tone other than it just being gray. So there we go. It's a little bit hard to see on camera, but I promise it definitely makes a difference. I'll hold it up again as soon as I get the rest of the color in there so you can actually see it. My lights might be a little bright. If I turn them away a little bit, you might be able to see. Oh, you can see it pretty good now. You can see that I added, there we go, that I added this color to it. So it's just adding a bit of this to change it up. And this was E42. Now, E81 is next. And this one has more of a stone-ish look to it. So let me show you what it looks like on its own. It's called Ivory. It's not a skin tone. It's more like a gray, but has like that beige-ish tone to it. And it's a little bit more heavy of a color, darker than the last one we used. And it kind of takes that that really pale color out of it that looks like a natural skin tone. So that's why we're going over it with this. We want a little bit of that, but not too much. So I'm kind of just going over some different areas, blending out my colors that are on the side, just giving it a little bit more of this color. I'm going to do his hands. Don't worry, he's not going to be beige. That wouldn't make any sense. So there we go. We're getting there. Next, we're going to go back to our gray tones. So the next one we did, the last one we did was N4. This one's N3. So this is one where we're going to put a bit more of this gray in here. It's going to kind of cover some of that beige-ish color we had in here, but we want that to happen because we don't want it to look like natural skin tone. We still want it to look gray in the end. We just need it to have a little bit of a difference to it. So we have one more gray we're going to use after this one. So this is N3. We're going to use N2, and then we're going to use one more color, and then we'll be done. So it's a lot of colors in this, but if you really want it to have dimension and build it up, you've got to use all those different colors. It can be fun in an RV, would work correctly. Tomorrow we have to change out the battery. There we go. Okay. Now, his tongue is not going to be pink. We cannot give him a pink tongue. Oh, I thought I was going to go to N2. I didn't pull out N2. Hold on, let me grab N2. Hello, Meg. So here's N2, and this is where I'm going to go and just cover any spaces that I didn't cover with the 3, just to make sure it's all gray and I don't have any white area, so to speak. So just a light coat of this N2. And this part right here, I guess you could make that skin, but I really think it's hair. So, all right. I think his eyes need to be a little bit more sunken black, so we'll add some more of that when we finish. Now, I have grabbed this one called Putty. It's YG91. It has a bit of a green tone to it. So you can see a little bit of green in there, which I think will help with the whole zombie. So I am going to go over the entire thing with this color. It's kind of like a top coat, if you will. We did a base coat, now we're doing a top coat. Very lightly, with the pressure of maybe 1, really, really light and not blending, just one brush stroke over top of that. So you can still see his little wrinkles in there. And now we have this really cool looking color, but we need his eyes to be just slightly darker. So I'm going to come back in. I'm going back to my colors with N6. And I'm going to go around those areas that I put the original dark color on. So round those circle areas and then right around the center of his where his eyeball is. Kind of want that eyeball to stand out. I just felt like his eyes weren't quite black enough. So not using any different colors, just going back in with those original colors I used just to put a second coat on there will darken it up. This is N5. It's the same color we used earlier. Oh, I think this is going to be much better. Now I'm going to go with N4. And that's going to deepen that. There we go. Very nice. Okay, I like it a lot better now. I hope you guys do too. So I'm going to hold it up just so you guys can get a really good look at it. So there's definitely different colors in there other than gray. I love zombies. Could you message me so I can order it? Question though, do the stamps come with dies? Some of them do. Some of them they have dies and some of them don't. I don't have a die for this, which is unusual for me, so maybe this one didn't have it. I don't know, but I will look it up before I message you after the video. Or Dale will look now. Okay, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to use these ends for some of the clothes as well. So I'm going to go with N4 to do these buttons. Just around the outside a bit, and then we'll go in and with the next color and finish those off. I want those to remain fairly light. So I'm going to come in with the N2 next. And this way I won't accidentally color over them, hopefully, if I go ahead and put a color in there already. Do they have dies for that one, honey? Did you look it up?
Almost there.
Okay. Okay, so using that N2 because it has a lot of colorless blender, it kind of washed out my dark. So I'm going to go back with my N4 and just build that dark right back in there. I'm not going to blend out this time. I want to leave it like that. Okay, so now what I want to do is, oh my gosh, look, we missed his legs. His legs are showing. I didn't even realize that. That's okay. We can go back in with these colors and do it all over again. I won't talk through as many, but I will kind of touch on it. So, and they're also hidden so they can remain darker. So starting with the base coat of N0 for those who missed the beginning, we put a base coat of N0. And then we came in with N7 for our shadow color. So I'm going to put that here. And they kind of gave us the wrinkly, scarry parts on here, so we can make those dark if we want. Because the artist put them in there for you. Roberto Rascals. Huh? What'd you say, honey? Oh, you're trying to find dies?
Yes.
He's called Billy, so you could search for that if you need to. Okay, N6 is going to be next. Get us some good shadow areas in here. A little bit on here. Yeah, I like him. He's a really cool zombie. And he's funny in the show too, so you would like him. Okay, 5 is next, and there wasn't a whole lot of 5. It's just kind of out around the outside a bit. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of that one.
I do not see.
No dye?
No.
I know, I didn't think there was one, otherwise I would have it. So there's no dye for this one. Last N before we switch colors is N4. So I'm going to put a little bit of...
The stamp is $8.
The stamp's $8?
Yes.
That's not bad. Currently this stamp is $8, so that's not bad at all. And it is available, so that's exciting. Okay, so now we're going to switch. First we use a little bit of this E42 sand color, just to get maybe a hint of what his skin looked like before he died. And then we're going to put the E81, which kind of tones down the natural skin tone in those other colors. So I'm just going to blend together with that one. Just around all the edges and such. And then we're going to come back with our N3, which is gray. We're going to cover up some of that skin tone so it doesn't show up as well. Then we're going to switch to our YG91, which is the one that has a bit of a green tint to it, and we do that over the whole thing so we can get it the same color up there as his face. They're slightly darker, but they're also wet. When they dry, they'll be slightly lighter. And then the last step is to take the N2 and go over the green so it's not so obvious of a green, just one clean sweep over that. There we go. Now we have legs done. Yay! I was worried about that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a lot of black, if you will, but we're going to use the different color families so it looks a little bit more like black. And then we're also going to use some of the browns. So this, and we're going to use blue too, but we're going to use underpainting of grays with our blues so they stay more dull, like they're, I don't know, like they've been buried in the ground for a long time. You know, we got to cover that. So when I do that, I'm going to use W's because I feel like W's kind of warm that color back down where I want it to be. I'm going to use the B 97, 95, 93. Not sure I'm going to go as light as 93. We may have to go up to 99, but we'll see. Okay, so starting off, I don't want to go too dark, but I definitely want it to be a little bit dark. So I'm going to use the W3 as my underpaint color, which seems kind of crazy, but just bear with me. So I want his jacket to be blue, and I want this part right here to look like a dingy white, kinda, if you will. We'll do his hair in a minute. As soon as we're done with this part, we'll do his hair. So I'm doing the underpainting on all of these, the jacket, the ruffles on his arms, his shirt will do a different color. Probably his belt will do the same color, so we'll do that in there as well. All of his jacket, including the little button areas. And this is W3 again. It's a warm color. It's just an underpainting, so it's just to prepare for the color we're going to put in there. Okay, so for the dingy areas, which are the lapel areas, that's where we're going to use our E44. This is where the brown comes in. And we're going to get some of that in here. Now these colors are usually very vibrant when I color with them, but I am going to try to keep dulling them down since he doesn't need to be looking like he's wearing some bright let's go out and party kind of outfit, even though he does kind of want to hang out and party. But he has to look like he just crawled out of the ground. And by the way, just FYI, so you guys know me, I have not colored this stamp before. This was just I decided that since we did Hocus Pocus last night that we would do it again tonight. So this is the first time I've colored this stamp. Hi Corrine, hi Ruby. All right, so now I'm going to switch to E42, which is a bit lighter than the brown I already put on there. And I'm just going to blend out those colors that I just applied. This part will be lighter, but in real life, before he died, it probably was white. So we're just looking for a dingy color, not a real dark color. And now I'm going to go, I wanted to ask if you colored, I have not colored it before. This is my first attempt, so hoping it all goes well. It's kind of a just jump out there and try it. I'm going to come in, the weather is hitting me hard. I can't get a signal in my house, so I'll have to watch replay. I'm glad you're safe, and that's okay. We understand. You can definitely watch the replay either here or on YouTube. I'm safe, but with Iowa having most tornadoes this year, I don't want to take any chance. I understand. You be safe. I'll check on you in a little bit. W1 is what I'm going to go over the whole area because I want to fill it in and I want to tone that brown just a little bit. So overpainting and underpainting will allow you to change the tones of those colors. So that is what we are doing right now. So that worked out very nicely. That's a very good brown color. Good night. That I wanted it to be. See how it kind of just looks dirty? That's what we want. Now, we're going to follow that same type of theory, but we're going to use blue this time for the jacket. We want the jacket to be blue. I decided while we were talking that I am going to start off with B99 since this is supposed to be very dark and dirty. Closest to his body, I'm going to put some shadow blue. This will be a much brighter blue when I first start out, but when we finish, it won't be bright blue anymore. So I'm just going to start doing where I want the darkest shadow area to be. So this is where we have to be careful not to do over top of our little areas we just colored. But it'll make them stand out a little because this is a much darker color. And this overlaps, so we need some depth there. Yeah, I don't mind taking the chance of coloring something I've never colored with you guys because if it doesn't work out, it's just paper, and you guys will understand because you watch me all the time, so I wasn't worried. Okay, we're going to go up jagged a little bit from this jacket because I want it to look like it's in bad shape. A little bit jagged here. There we go. So we built in a bit of the darkest color. And now I'm going to go with the B97, which is the second. This one is still pretty dark, but once you move past the B97, you start getting into much lighter blues. So I'm going to cover a bit more than I normally would when I'm coloring with this color. I want to give him a different color shirt, so I don't want to color that shirt part. I think I am going to make his belt this blue color too, though, I think. I don't know, my brain's working while I'm coloring. So we're going to do some brush strokes here. Little bit blue. If I wanted it to be more of a royal blue, I probably should have used B39 and 37, but I'm kind of okay with this one so far. All right, so the next one that I'm going to use is going to be the W6. I need to put a bit of gray in here so that I can keep it from being too blue. So I'm going to go over some of the shadow areas and just kind of start building in a bit of depth with this dark gray. Right over top of the blue. It's mixing them together to keep this blue tone, but also more dirty. Dirty is what we want. Dirty, dirty. And we want to keep some of that depth in some of those areas. Now I'm going to start doing these little panels right here that are holding the buttons. They're going to stay gray. I'm not going to put any blue in there. So as you can see, when I touch that blue with the gray, it really tones it down so it's not a bright blue. Now I'm going to switch to B95, so back and forth, blue, gray, blue, gray. So B95, this is where I'm going to start filling in a lot of it, but it starts bringing it to a fairly bright blue. So don't worry. We're going to tone that down with the next color. So I'm blending out those blues and grays. And we don't need any really bright highlights because we are going to be in the cemetery at night. It is going to be very dark. And he's been buried for a very long time. So I like that blue, but I feel like it's a little bit too bright of a blue. So I'm going to come in with my W4 and just do a light coat over top of that blue to tone it down. You'll still be able to see a little bit of blue in there, but it'll make it look like it was blue when he was alive, and now it's just dingy blue since he crawled out of the ground. You can see how that changes as we go along. We're also going to use this 4 to go around his little detailed, whatever you call those. I don't know. Hi, Charlene. Okay, now we're going to go back to those colors. So if in case you didn't catch them, it's B99, 97, then W6, B95, and W4. So a back and forth towards the end with the gray. So I want to make the belt blue as well. I didn't think about that till after we got started. So we're just going to color that in real quick. Since it's under his jacket, we probably don't need to go so many colors deep, or we just won't be using much of each one. Definitely blue. Now we're moving to the gray again. then blue one more time. And then gray for the last one, just to cover that blue. Makes the belt a little darker, but it still has the blue in it, just like the jacket did. Okay, so his pants, or maybe that was his stomach. No, I'm just kidding. It looks like a belt to me. Okay, so for his pants and his shoes, I want those to be really dark black. So we're going to change the black again. This time we're going to go to the sea color family, so they're a little bit more on the cool side. But that will make them like a bright shiny, and we'll still need to dull those down. So stay tuned, and I will show you how to do that. So we're going to start by getting some of this C9 in there. It's very, very dark black. Just kind of building it around the edges a bit. I'm going to do it a little bit up from here because of the way he's standing. And then here. And just a few of these little places here. Don't really need this to have a whole lot of that color in it. We might as well do the shoes while we're here, or at least some part of the shoe. I'm going to go ahead and give him a sole on these shoes. That's me just building in a sole because I feel like it needs one. These are fancy shoes. You know, probably two-tone in real life before he died, but now they're just dirty.
But he came back from dead and you're giving him his soul back.
What?
He came back from the dead and you're giving him his soul back.
I'm giving him soul? Is that what you said? That's funny. I haven't decided on his tongue yet, but his hair's going to have more brown in it. So we'll be bringing more brown colors back into this. And I haven't decided on his shirt just yet. So this is C7. This will still keep everything fairly dark. I am going to go around the outside because we wanted these to be more black pants. So I'm going to put quite a bit of the darker colors in here. So extending out where I put the last color. Also, I want to come down from this area right here, in from the side. Want to get around the outside done. I'm also going to start going along this area, but with much smaller brush strokes. All right, now we're going to start building in the shoes a little bit. I'm going to leave this front part alone for now because I kind of want that part to be much, much lighter, like it used to be white. I hope this step-by-step is not boring to you. I hope you guys it's helping. It's a very detailed step-by-step instruction. I just answered the question, do zombies have souls? Dale says I'm giving him his soul back. But I think he kind of meant like rhythm soul, but I'm not sure. C6 is next. I don't really want to go a whole lot lighter than C6, so I'm going to start filling this out. I also think I may end up putting some W on here after we finish, probably W5, so that we can again keep it looking like it's dirty. Because this type of black looks very bright, kind of shiny. So I don't want it to look different compared to the rest of him. I want it to kind of follow all being dirty. Now I'm going to start doing this part of the shoe with this one. And maybe we should just, while we're at it, we'll just make this shirt kind of an old, was white, now it's not kind of thing. we'll just go ahead and use this color. That way we can get that part done. So C5 is going to be the next color. And that's where I'm going to finish coloring out this right here. And then this right here. Just kind of finishing that up. Doesn't have to be smooth and pretty because, I mean, he's dead. What can we say? Oh, almost missed the shirt. Almost. All right, now I'm going to switch to the W4. And I'm going to go completely over these pants to tone down that bright black that we have going on right now. It will just make it look a bit washed out. I'm going to do the same thing down here on the shoes. So the W's have more of a brown base to them. So they look a bit more on the brown side when you use them. This one is W1, and that's the one that I'm going to work the front of this shoe because there's a lot of colorless blender, so it's going to lighten it up but still keep that like brownish color to it. I do the same thing. Oh, I missed that one with the 4. I need to put 4 on this one first. And then follow it up with the 1. It will lighten it up because there's a lot of colorless blender on this one. The more you go over it, the lighter it will become. I don't know. What do you guys think? Hi, Joy. What do you guys think about the tongue? I can't decide on the tongue color.
Do you have
It kind of needs to be
an undertone of gray with a blue-green color?
Blue-green? Really?
Yes.
His tongue would be like a blue-green? Huh.
Yeah, but it's dark, so you need that undertone.
All right, we'll try this one. Oh, let's do this one instead. That one will be too bright. Okay, so Dale says for his tongue, we need to start with, let's go with a W3 for the undertone again, like we did with the jacket. And then we're going to use the BG78 for the shadow effect. We'll use the BG75. This one will be a little bit lighter and brighter, so we'll put that one in there. And then we're going to come in with the W1 or 3, actually. Let's do 3 for the shadow area, and then we'll do 1 to highlight it. It's kind of a blue tongue. Hey, Mama, you popped in when I wasn't looking. Now I need my W1. Where did I do with my, oh, there it is. This is actually less markers than we used on the witch last night, on the, what's her name? So I'm using the 1, but I'm gonna make back and forth in these little areas because there's a lot of colorless blender. It'll lighten it up and kind of give it a highlight to his tongue. See? Perfect. Let's do the same with his eyes, like he had blue eyes maybe when he was alive, and now he's going to have dead blue eyes. So I'm just going to put a little bit right around the eyeball. Now normally when I do eyes, I come around with like a G00 to kind of brighten them up. I do not want to do that with this guy. Go going around that edge. I'm not going to give him really bright eyes, but I am going to come in now with my W1 and kind of tone that blue down. Just because I want to keep them very dark as well. So there we go. Now we have really cute eyes. Now we have the hair, and then we're done. So for the hair, we're going to go with a brown. I'm going to follow in those 40 range, E40, but we're going to mix black in with it, and we're going to use some blue, brown, and black. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what we're going to do. So E49 is first. That's the one that is the darkest. I'm not going to put like a base coat on this one. We're just going to go for it. All the shadow areas in the darkest brown we can. But don't worry, we'll be overpainting some of it to keep it from being too much like real brown hair. I'm following the artist lines to build in some texture. His hair was very stringy. All of this underside should remain very dark because it's under his ear and hidden by his head. So I'm putting it a little bit heavier down there than I will when I get up to the top. Fill in this part. Moving him around so that I can stay with the shape of the head. It's still important, just like with any other hair, that you stay with the direction of the hair so that it looks more realistic. Right now I'm just working on the outside. I will work on this part in a few minutes. Any of these parts sticking out, I'm just going to go over those. I feel like this looks a little bit funny to me, so I'm going to build him in a few more little hairs there. He must have got hit over the head. Can't remember if that was the story or not, but it looks like he has a dent in his head right there. Hey, Dee Ann, how are you? Nice to see you pop in. If a zombie is something you want to see, you can always watch the replay in the group or on YouTube tonight after the video. I'll upload it to YouTube. That way you can pause and whatever you need to do to follow along. Okay, working this part way down here by his head again. I also want to build that right around his face. He's a dead zombie. So he's going to remain very dark. I'm going to put that one. And then I'm going to start working on these artist drawn lines. I feel like they need to be made brown so it doesn't remain like black inside there. That's just a personal preference. That does not have to be done like that. That's just the way that I like to do it. I'm going to hold my marker upright and get a teeny tiny line there. That takes practice. You'll get used to it if you practice it a lot. And two more, and then we're ready. I'm going to put just another one in here because I feel like he needs it. Okay, so I like that brown a lot. I also have E47, which I'm going to use next. And then we're going to switch to a black color. I just need to get a bit of this lighter brown in there first. It's almost like an underpainting of the brown because this is way lighter brown than I want his hair to be. But I need to have that in there so it doesn't turn his hair black. when I come in with the when I come in with the C's. Now, I don't know if you know, but when you do black hair with C's, you should always have some blue under it for a more realistic look. So that is why I said I was going to be adding some blue to his hair, because he needs to have just a little bit of blue in there. So it'll be a darker blue, it won't be a bright blue, but that's the reason behind why I feel like I need to have a bit of blue in there. So see, we're staying with the shape of his head. We want to make sure that we keep those brush strokes going the same direction, so it stays cohesive and doesn't look wonky. I don't know if wonky is a word, but I'm using it. You can extend from your original brush lines if you'd like to make it a little bit, make it start filling in a little bit faster. That's a personal preference. You guys can choose to do that how you want. Honestly, the less you think about it when you're putting these brush strokes in, the better it comes out. If you're concentrating on where to put it and all that kind of stuff, it's just harder. It's harder. So just get in there and go to town making those lines and being all happy, and don't worry about any of that. Just go to town on it. Okay, so I'm going to go in with this C7. It's going to be dark, so I'm going to be a little bit cautious with where I put it, because when it covers up the brown, it's going to make it really dark. So kind of choosing areas where I put either the light brown or no color. Just to kind of get that in there. This is just the beginning of these steps, so just take your time and choose your colors however you want. So you can see that black starting to build in there. We'll do blue next to get some blue in there, and then we'll start finishing out the colors. I'm not going to put any of this black in those other ones, but I'm going to put it in this one just along the edge. It seems crazy, but it'll come together. I think we need a tad bit more over here because we have more on the other side. There we go. All right. We're going to be going back to the brown as well, but I'm going to go ahead and pull in B95. It's very lighter, very much lighter than the other colors, and I'm going to put that just in these areas where it's white right now. It's going to look crazy, I know, trust me, I know, but just bear with me. It'll be all right. It's a very light touch. It's about a 1 again, extremely light. Don't want to put a whole lot in there, just need some in there. Okay, I'm going to go to my E44 and go over those areas where I put the blue, just to kind of mix them with the brown. Just going over basically the areas where I put the blue, so it's not so prominent, it's mixed in with brown, and it'll look a little more on the dingy side, which is where I was going with this. Just covering the blue. There we go. All right, so he's not done yet. We got to do just a little bit more. So I'm going to switch back to my 49, and then we're going to do 47 again. These are going to put some of that depth back in there. I am just going to put the brush strokes in there kind of quick, so You can see it coming back to life where the brown is. Around his face, you definitely want that in there. Right here where the parts come, I'm going to build just a little bit more of a part in here. So a little bit darker right here. Because that's kind of where the center of his hair is. So it needs to be just a little bit darker than everything else. So building in, and notice every time I do another layer, I'm still doing it as strands of hair and just really long brush strokes. This will keep that hair looking textured. And even though he's dead, he needs textured hair. So it's starting to really come together. We're going to use E47, and then we might be done. I'll let you know if we need any other color after that. So now I'm going to make sure when I do this one that I touch anywhere that's white. Because I don't want to leave any more white spaces. I don't want his hair to have any white highlight in it. I wasn't planning on putting a moon in our scene for the background. So if I'm not going to put a moon in there, I don't need any highlights in his hair. And this hair looks really dirty, but it's pretty cool looking. So this is the one where I'm going to go over all these small parts that are pieces of hair that are over his eyes. I'm loving how this came out. I've never done this color before, but this is what I envisioned in my head, and I'm really liking it. So I hope you guys are too. It seems to be coming out rather nicely. Okay, so this is what it looks like up close. It looks ratty. It's got different colors in it. It's kind of perfect. I am very happy with how that came out. So this is my little zombie guy. He's super cute. Being that I did not practice that ahead of time, I'm super happy with it. So now what we're going to do is zoom out, and we're going to build ourselves a background for this guy. Thank you, Meg. I love how he turned out. I'm really happy with him. He looks really good. Okay, so if you were here at the beginning, you know that I said Dale made me a stencil for the background because I didn't have anything to make a grave site. So he made me a stencil. The benefit to being married to Dale. He made me this stencil right here. We're not going to use the cobwebs necessarily, but we are going to use the fence builder and the tombstones. And probably some spiders and bats, too.
Just let him know that the thing.
What?
Just let him know the other thing. It's a ghost.
Oh, this is a ghost. This is his shadow, and those are his eyes. I don't think we're going to use him this time. I'm not sure. We'll see as we go. I actually have 2 pieces of paper to start with out here because I want to kind of layer the ground over top of the tombstones. So I didn't want to do it all on one layer. I am going to use my sticky mat so I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to lay my first one in here, on here, and we're going to start building our ground. So I have chosen some colors for us to play with. So I have
if you don't want the tombstones to lay over top of the background, the ground, these are the masks.
Oh, I'm gonna do the ground separate. Okay, so I have gathered twigs for the ground. We'll use Villainous Potion for the fence. Black soot will be all over in there, and Lost Shadow will as well. And those, then I have weathered wood, which I'm going to use with black soot and Lost Shadow for the tombstones. So let's start off with our gathered twigs for our ground. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this solution right here, this magic stuff I have that I got from Pajama Crafter Stamps, because it is awesome for dye ink blending. And it makes everything smooth, and that's what I want. And if I don't want, then I will show you how I will modify to make that not so smooth. But to start out with, I need it very smooth. So you don't need a lot of this stuff. You just need like a drop. But once you dip your brush in it, you can't go directly onto the ink pad with your brush. You have to clean it first. So we're going to take that gathered twigs and put it on our desk for right now. And then I'm going to touch that blending solution, and I'm going to pick up this ink. We're not going to use the blending solution for everything, but for this right now, you see how easy that makes the blending of this color? I love it. I love this stuff. Now, I'm not going to be worried about the edge of this because I'm going to tear to make the ground that I'm going to put over top of the tombstones. I want to be able to see it all. So the more ink you put on there, the darker it's going to be. And this is what I want, is a very dark, hilly kind of area. Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, this?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a double holder for my ink pads that doesn't move around. And look, Dale made me one in like this cool color. He wanted me to show you, Cheryl. Isn't that cool? Yeah, he's been making me all kinds of stuff. This is what happens when your hubby watches your lives. And he's crafty. Then he'll make stuff for you. Okay, so this is going to be the ground. Now, I don't want it to be just brown. I need a little bit of black because it's supposed to be very, very dark and very, very, late. So I'm just going to take my brush and go over this brown to kind of, again, tone it down just a little bit. I don't want it, I just used the residual of whatever was on my brush because I don't want to make it too dark. So I just followed along with that. And now to make sure it's all blended together, I'm going to go over it with the brown again, just to make sure I got really good blending going on there. This is what I want for the bottom. I don't really have to do a whole lot more with that because we are going to actually either cut or tear the edges to put over our scene. So I'm going to put another piece of paper. This is the one that's actually going to be our background. Hey, honey, I forgot to pull a blue for this guy. Oh, I can just use that one. Don't worry, I can use that one. Okay, I am going to be wiping off my desk a few times during the process just because I'm putting it right on my desk and I don't want to, mix anything up necessarily. Unless I do want to mix it up, and then I'll leave it on there. But for now, we're going to clean in between the groups of what we're doing. You love that stuff? It is really cool. I'm telling you, I went to a show in Ohio with Joy, the owner of Pajama Crafter Stamps, and I did her make and take, and we used that, and I was sold the minute that I used it. I was like, I gotta have this stuff. It's amazing. Okay, so chipped sapphire is the other color that we're going to use because I'm going to build a bit of a sky. Oh, I am going to have to use these little guys, these tombstone cover-ups. Because I think before we do the sky, we need to do the little tombstones. So I'm going to start with the stencil. I kind of need to do the fence too, but I'll do the tombstones first. Okay, So we have two different types of tombstones, shapes of tombstones. So we have this one that's more rounded, and then we have this one that has a little bit different design. So they'll look different in the cemetery. And there's one smaller than the other. So we're going to start with this one in more of a gray, and then we'll put this one over it that will be black. So my only thing is going to be that I'm going to grab another piece of paper that I can lie beside it so I don't go over the page, because I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I would do. So I'm going to start off with the first gravestone being straight, and then we'll start getting crooked.
The guides are over on the side.
I don't need them for this. Okay, so starting with let's do Lost Shadow first. Now, I used that blending solution stuff with my brush last night, so I cannot put the brush back on my ink pad because that's bad for your ink pad. So for this one, I'm just going to put it here. And I'm going to just give myself a little bit of the blending solution, because why not? Why not? That's Weatherwood. This is Lost Shadow. So here we go. First one. Super smooth, easy. This, I'm just putting this here because if I go over the edge, it's going to put it on my paper, and I don't want it there. So just put that there for protection. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my black soot. I'm going to put it on the table. Oops. Now I've mixed the two, which is not a bad thing. I'm going to pick up the black, lift this up, and I'm going to center the bottom of that. You can see through the stencil, so I know I have it in the right place. I'm going to put my finger over my fence because I don't want to, you know, color in the fence. And I'm not going to press real hard because I don't want the tombstone to be like black. I just want it to be darker than the Lost Shadow. So this is the black soot, but definitely a little bit less pressure so we don't end up with one that's way darker. And I'll show you what it looks like. So it's going to look like a two-tone tombstone. See? It's a little bit hard to see in the video. Let me hold it up so you guys can really see it. See? Two-tone tombstone. We can use a white gel pen to write crazy stuff on our tombstones if we want when we're done. But now I'm going to switch to the next one. And it's okay. We're going to put the grass and the, you know, the brown over this where I got some. So I'm not really worried about that. But now I'm going to change my tombstone to be a different one. So it's going to be this one. I am going to put this under here just so I don't go too far. I'm thinking I might do weathered wood this time. Or you know what? Since I dropped the black, we can just mix that together. And it'll be a little bit different, but it'll still work really well. It'll just be like a darker gray. So there we go. This is like a Lost Shadow with black in it. So we're good to go on that one. Blends so smoothly. Now we're going to lift it up. And we're going to put the smaller tombstone right there over top of it. Going to use my extra piece of paper to keep from getting it everywhere. There we go. And now I'm going to pick up the black soot again so that it can be very dark, a little bit darker. See, if I hadn't put that there, I would have colored that all over my paper. That would have been a bummer. I don't want that to happen. You never heard of Pajama Crafter Stamps? You have now. And there's another one. It's a little bit different shaped. We're going to do it one more time, and then we're going to start building our fence. So this one, will this one fit inside this one?
I don't know. I didn't design it like that, but you can. I mean, it's smaller.
I know. It's okay though. Well, we'll try this one again, and then I'm going to put it crooked. Maybe I'll put it, I think, crooked this way. And if the other one fits in, then we'll put the other one in. And if not, then we'll put the same one in. Okay, I'm going to cover this up so I don't color in that. And I'll be real careful I don't do that one. Okay, I'm going to go back to my, oh, I'm going to go around the outside. I just know it. So we're not going to use the top part of this one. So we'll just put this paper here to protect our, I'm going to put it like that. I don't want to get it in the wrong place. This scene is going to be awesome, and I want to make sure it stays awesome. So I'm going to put my finger right here to make sure I don't mess that up. It doesn't take much to do these little tombstones. They're kind of fast, but since this is a brand new stencil, it takes me just a little bit to do it until I know what I want to do with it. Hi, Leslie. So if you haven't heard Meg, I am about to be drawing for, ooh, this is going to look cool.
Since it's at a, like he did at an angle, you should offset it just a little bit to give it kind of a shadow.
Like this?
I mean, offset it as off to the side a little bit more.
Like this. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like that. Phil's got lots of opinions. He built it, so we have to listen to him. Okay, a little bit darker. Oh, where I was going with that was I'm going to be drawing art for Pajama Crafter Stamps. So if you haven't seen, you might want to join their site so you can see if you liked my artwork before. You may like it and see it coming again. I'll make sure I get some of that juicy stuff in there so I'll blend a little bit easier. Oops, I'm going into the spider web. I don't want to do that.
Our content creators.
Huh?
Both of us are content creators.
Yeah, we're both actually going. We're both actually we're both actually going to be working with Pajama Crafter Stamps. We are, Dale's going to be creating 3Ds and stencils and all kinds of stuff, and I'm going to be doing artwork. So we joined their team. So if you miss seeing my art, you'll want to be in that group. Pajama Crafter Stamps and Friends. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but I think Joy's here and she can help you with that. I just go there. I don't know what it's called. Yay! I mean, I'll advertise in my group too, but if you want to see it first, you should be there. Okay, now we're going to build this fence. So we have like this wrought iron fence, but just for the fun of it, I'm going to make this wrought iron fence purple. I know you guys are like, shocker. She's going to make it purple. I can't right now. Yes, I am hoping that at someday I will be able to do that, but I cannot do that right now because of some extenuating circumstances that I don't want to express at the moment. But eventually I would like to get there. But I didn't want you guys to have to wait a really, really long time to see any artwork, so I'm working with Joy for now. Okay, so this is my villainous potion, and I want my little fence to be, I know purple is sort of not the realistic, but we're going to do it anyway. think I might need some. Oh, there we go. I was like, I need this to be darker. When you start, Cheryl, when you have to start over from scratch, it just, I mean, we only have 217 people in our group, 217 amazing special people, but it's going to take me a while to build the following, and you can't, yeah, it's just, you have to build the following first. There we go. So, although it's purple, it's still very, very dark, which is super cool. And then this is the wrought iron fence that goes, Dale set it up so it goes from edge to edge. It lines up perfectly. And I'm going to show you how I can line up this fence to do it, to do more than one row of fence. So I'm going to make this the same color, so we're just going to go in here and color that as well. And now we have this really cool fence. But in order to extend that fence, this one and this one are exactly the same. So you can place this over top of the last one that you did, so that you have it lined up perfectly, and then color in the rest of them. And that way it keeps it all lined up the way that you need it to be. So again, building this fence. I'm gonna go one more with the fence before I put the fancy part of the fence in there, just so that I get it as far as I want it. I just want to go one more. But see, it lines it up just perfectly, so your fence stays exactly in line with the way that it needs to be. So that is very helpful. Pretty easy to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it for the first time live with you guys when he just made this for me, if I didn't think that I could do it. But he does really well at making them easy to use, so. I love Villainous Potion. Okay, now we're going to put the cross part of the fence in there, and we need to do it twice. So what I'm going to do is line it up with where it was on the other fence over here, and slide just a little bit to the edge so that I can make sure it goes all the way from one end to the other. Okay, putting this back in there so I don't color the wrong place.
Thanks, Meg.
Awesome stencil. It is fun. You can do so much with it. I mean, I love it when he puts all these different design thingies on there that you can make your own stuff. Everybody's will always look different, you know? Nobody's will look the same.
Here, you can show them samples of everything.
Oh, yeah. Dale tested it out. He said, I can show you guys what all the different pieces look like in just a minute. Sticking that down. I have to put this paper back in here so I don't mess that up. And then one more and we'll be done with the fence. I like this fence. I'd like to have a bigger fence. You don't have to tell us. I just want to happen to you again. Oh, I'm working with, I'm working with her. I'm not an owner of the company. I'm just working with her for different stuff. I got a little bit of purple up there, but that's going to be okay because we're going to make all of that blue, and all's going to be good with that. All right, this is the test sample of what Dale did. This is the stencil and all the pieces that come out. So it makes a spider web, there's spiders, there's bats, there's a ghost. This is the fence we're working on now, and those are the tombstones we did. So that's that part of it. So now we have the beginning of our stuff. We also have our brown that we have already done. So I'm going to need to put that in there, but before I do that, I want to start building the sky, and then we'll deal with putting this part on there in a few minutes. So just so you know where I'm at and what I'm doing, I just want you to know so you can keep up. I'm gonna spray this and take this color out. I probably could have used that black, but I want it to be black, not gray black from the mixture of the colors. So I love how this cleans right off your desk so easily. All right, so now we need to do our chipped sapphire to start building our sky. And I want the sky to be pretty smooth. I'm also going to put some, before I get started, I'm gonna go ahead and put some purple up there so that it will have some undertone of purple. And I'm just gonna use what's left on the brush. It can be all jagged because this is just the undertone. We're gonna come over and go completely over it with blue, so no worries there. Okay, this is the chipped sapphire. Gonna put it here so I can use my, I really want to use, I'm gonna put 2 actually because I'm gonna need that much. I decided I don't really need these after all. I will come in with a smaller brush and do it when I need to. I'm gonna use a little bit of this mixing stuff. And now we're gonna work on our sky. Dale cleaned my brushes, so they don't have a lot of residual ink in there, so they take a little bit to wet them up. Am I still on the in screen? I want to make sure I was still in screen. Hi, Kathy. A little bit of an earthquake going on here, but we all got this. Now, as I get lower, I'm going to not press nearly as hard so I can get a much lighter color. And I'm going to come in with a smaller brush. I have a small blue brush right here. And that's where I'm going to start building in some of this around it. Just want to put a little bit. It'll be over the tombstones a bit. I guess I could use this if I wanted. I can hold it there while we're doing it. Dale gave me the cutouts. It'll make it faster, that's for sure. And easier. I'll put this one over here. So when you make the stencils, you have all the cutouts, so you can use them as masks, which makes everything easier.
Which I usually include where it makes sense.
Yeah. So I didn't put that blending stuff on this brush, unfortunately, so didn't blend that out quite as well as I wanted it to. Dang, I was hoping I could just move my fingers with those, you guys, but it didn't work. So can't switch my fingers around. There we go. I'm okay if this is not, I want it to be a little bit sketchier at the bottom. I mean, you know, closer to the tombstone, so it looks more like a cloudy sky, if you will, than I did with the top. So I'm okay with it being a little bit splotchy. I am not using the blending solution just because I want it to be a bit more on the eerie, smoky, splotchy kind of side, if you will. So I am kind of touching it on purpose in that manner. Come back in with my brush here, pick up a little bit more, kind of smooth that out just a little bit. There we go. Now I can take these off my tombstones, and my tombstones are still pretty gray. Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell you, I can't get these off of here with my fingernails, so I'm going to have to use my tweezers. Oops. Dropping stuff in my lap. It's going everywhere. You guys, I'm not doing very good. Okay. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of what's left on my desk and kind of try to just scatter some in here, just because I don't know how far up that panel's going to go, but we'll see.
I can use the,
No, this is fine, honey.
no, I can use the design for the fence, and I can create some cutouts for you in black cardstock.
Oh, nice.
Then you could just lay it down over top.
Okay. I kind of like that. I hope you guys like that too. I think I'm going to use the black soot a little bit for around the edges so that the edge of the sky looks a little bit darker than the rest. So just coming off of here onto the paper, just the edge. I just want a little bit of that dark color on the edge. Kind of make it look like it's just a little bit deeper, darker, but we don't want to go too dark because I still want to put some bats and stuff in the sky because Dale gave me cool things to put in there, so we definitely want to do that. But I want to build a little bit darker in the corners, almost like a vignette. If you guys do photos, you know what that is. It's like a silhouette of black around the edges. I love vignettes on photographs. Super cool. All right. Here we go. Do you want to see our little guy on there just real quick? Look. He's gonna look so good. All right. So I'm gonna put some bats in the night. I'm gonna use the smaller brush, so it'll be a little bit easier. I need to wipe off the brush to make sure I don't have too much color on there. I'm going to use fresh black soot because I want this to be black, 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 very black. I'm using this little brush so it'll be easier to really get that in there. There's one bat. Oh, look at how cool that looks, you guys. Oh my gosh. I might even stick with this size. I really like this size of bat. The other ones are cute too, but this one, epic. These bats are cool. I could do some some Batman stuff with these little bats. I'm going to put the smaller ones. I think I'll do a little one up here. Oh, I'll be doing these bats a lot, not gonna lie. And then I think, oh no, I have 3. I need 5. So I think I'll put one more way over here in the corner, just way, way up at the top of that size. And then one more because we need to have 5. And this time maybe I'll use this one. The furthest one away, the littlest one. Ooh, can you imagine how awesome this spider would be with the spider web? So amazing. Ho, ho, ho. I love it. Spooky, foggy goodness. Yes. Okay. I am super excited about that. So before I take my ink away, I want to use this. I'm trying to decide exactly how I want to do that. Do I want to die cut that? Because I have these die cuts are really cheap in the Pajama Crafter Stamps. I can't remember exactly how much, but they were really, really cheap. There's 4 different ones, and they're pretty cool. They're called the Scalloped Borders. And what I'm thinking is, that I'm going to die cut this paper real quick, or Dale is, because he's just watching, and why not? He can just help me out.
Can you run through the diamond press?
Yeah, I can run it through the diamond press.
I mean, I can put it over here.
I was thinking I would cut it like this. I think I'm going to cut it twice, actually. I wonder if I put it like this. Does it do the same thing? It does. Trying to decide just exactly. You guys bear with me. I'm just trying to decide. I think I'll cut it like this first. So if I'm going to run it through the little Gemini, I got to cut this down. Otherwise, it won't let me do it. Here, give it to me. Oh, you want to do it for me now? There you go. Hold it tight so it doesn't slide. Okay. Dale's cutting our ground, which is going to be brown. And I really don't think we're going to need this anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and spray that, even though I didn't need as much black as I thought I was going to need. Then we can start doing our build. We're almost done. We're just going to build the rest of our card. I think I'm even going to take it off of the sticky mat because I think I'm kind of done with that part. Man, I love that sticky mat. If you don't have a sticky mat to use, you should get one of them for sure. I don't have an affiliate link where that sticky mat is, but I got mine at Waffle Flower, and I'm telling you, I really, 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 really like it. Hey, honey, will you turn that light out, because I think it's distracting the color here. I don't know why it's not letting me zoom in. I really wanted to zoom in a little bit. Can you use the blending solution once you've already put ink down? Yes, you can. And but you have to remember the only catch to it is don't put it back in your on your ink. Don't put it back directly on your ink pad. That's the key to it. I think this bump goes up just a little bit higher than I really wanted it. I kind of wanted it way down here like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'll show you. So I have it on there where I want it, like this. So I'm going to trim this along the edge. I know that seems scary, doesn't it? But it's just paper, and we can make another one if we cut too far. But what I'm thinking is if I move it down like this, and then I can put this one behind it so that we can build this in almost like a 2-layer. Look at that. See, I think that's perfect. That kind of puts it up higher. I think I'm going to curve some of this just a little bit. I know, look at me going all out for you guys. But this is going to be, just going to put a little bit of curve there and a little bit of curve here. Just because I think that'll make it a little bit better with the fence. I mean, it doesn't matter what this looks like because this is where he's going to be. So it's going to be super cute right there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down because I know I want it here. Or maybe I should put the, is this black? I can't remember what color's on here. I think I need to put in a little bit more color in here. So I'm going to do that real quick with this little baby brush. I'm going to use the brown, if I can find it, because I don't know what I did with it. Do you see it? This is black, so there's the brown one. Oh, here it is. I want to, I just want to make it a little bit more brown towards the bottom here. So, like, down in here. Like, we made it purple, but we didn't make it brown. And I feel like it just needs to have a bit more to build onto. Because it was just too white in there. And it's nighttime. We don't want that white in there. So I'm kind of just using, like, just whatever they call that, dotting effect. Stippling. I'm just doing that to build it in, because we don't want it to be light colored down here. I'm going to go just a little bit out this way too, just so we can get that. Now it's probably higher than the paper that I have made, but I still want it to look kind of hilly, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to come back in with my blue brush and just blend that a little bit. Just so we get a little bit smoother look.
If you bring it down a little bit more, then you don't have to bring in that second piece.
No, I want to bring in both pieces, honey. Haha. Better. Okay. So this one will go right here. And see how that kind of makes it mesh together a little bit better? You'll love that sticky mat. I'm not gonna lie, I dig it. I liked it so much I bought one for each of my Misty too, so now I don't have to use magnets anymore, which makes me so happy, because I don't know if you guys knew, but I picked up the magnets like these ones from my glass mat, and when I picked them up, they snapped on my finger right here. And they bruised the whole palm of my hand. I mean, it was so bad that I'm antsy of magnets now just because of that. Ooh, I like that this one's so much lighter right there. I think that's perfect. Yep, loving it. All right, here we go. I almost kind of wish I had built a moon in there, but I'm good. I'm good. We're going to move on. We don't have to do everything on every card. Another day, another time. It will be amazing. This guy is going to look so cute on this little scene. I love it. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, press it with my press. Pop. I am happy with the stencil, yes. Oh, look at that. So cool. Okay, I didn't pick a card base, so we're just making a panel tonight. But you guys know I'll make it into a card. Oh my gosh, I can't even. This is so cute. All right, I'm going to need to put a little bit of stars out there, so I need to grab, if you don't mind waiting just 1 second, I'm going to have to go and grab my white paint so I can splatter it, because I got to have stars. I can't not have stars. Where is the white one? Did you take it? I found it. Paintbrush anywhere? Oh, right here. Right here, right here, right here. All right. So I just used cheapo white, paint. Dale and I share these paints. They're just acrylic paint. Can you clean the inside of that? It's gross. I'm going to wet the acrylic paint with some water and use a little paintbrush to mix that in with the water so it'll be very wet and easy to make stars. So I'm going to get this side that's really wet. Pick it up, and then we're just going to tap it. I'm not tapping hard because I don't want to put a whole lot of stars, but I definitely need stars out there, don't you think? I think we need stars. It's very bright right now, the whole card, because the camera's bright. It's not in real life, it's not really that dark. And I'm putting so many white stars because when they dry, you don't see them quite as well as when they're wet. So you always want to make sure you have enough on there so that when they dry, you can really see them. Can still see my cool little bats. Well, there's one in the corner you can't see anymore because I covered them up with black. But these bats look really good. See how it dries? It kind of fades out a little bit. Now I have to put, I guess I should make a card out of it, huh? I already have card bases ready, so they're pretty easy. I think maybe gray might be the best call on a background for the, you guys know I can't just leave you guys hanging. Either gray like that, or this is light gray. Let's see what it looks like with him. I think we need this one. I'm pretty sure my paper is already cut to mat on the front of this. Woohoo! Already ready. So I'm going to fold this in half. And I'm going to burnish it real quick. You like it? Great Hills. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you guys like it, huh?
Down that acrylic stick.
Oh, it will?
Yep.
Dale says I have to clean my acrylic real quick. This one too?
Don't worry. No.
Okay. He's afraid it might stick and I'll struggle to get it off my desk, and he's probably right because I have had that issue before.
Guess you don't want to go back to your card to get them.
Yeah. Okay. So some of it is my mat has stars on it, so it'll look like there's some, but there's not that many. Okay, here we go. This is our card base. It is going to fit directly on the card. This is our mat, actually. That's our card base. This is our mat. It's a little bit damp because we did the stars. I feel like if you used, instead of using our acrylic, if you used the opaque white from the Copic pens that you can get from that one, it would probably be brighter stars. We might come in with our white gel pen real quick because we want to write some stuff on the grave. Oh my gosh. I love how he came out. I'm super happy with this. I hope you guys liked it too, because this is my first time coloring him, so I was hoping he was going to come up super awesome. All right, here we go. Let's put our cutie patootie on here. Oh, that fence came right in the right spot. Just perfect. Press him down, then I'm going to flip it over, rub it so he's on there really, really good. Oh my goodness. You guys, so amazing. Okay, so I'm going to use my white gel pen just to put a few stars in the sky, a few more, because they'll be brighter with my white gel pen. It's almost dead. So I think the white, huh? This whole scene is awesome. Oh, great. Thank you. I'm so glad you like it. Also, I want to do his eyes. I know he's dead, but I like the white to really show up. And we'll put a little bit on here. We don't want a whole bunch of highlight for him, but there is a moon out there somewhere, so he needs a little bit going on. Now, for the gravestones, I need a black pen to write in there. And I think I'm not going to use my Copic multi-liner because I don't want to mess it up by chance. So, what am I going to put?
Rip Billy, 1792.
It says rest in peace, Billy, 1792. What do you want me to put on the other ones? Come on, Dale, you're good at this. No? You got nothing? Your brain is empty? I don't know. Anyway, I'll fill them in as I think of them. I guess I'm not very good at putting names on the tombstones, but I will put the rest of the names on the tombstones. But this is my little Billy card. Now, I'll also put a sentiment, but I really feel like I think I want like Happy Halloween. So I need to find one because I don't have any Halloween stamps. And this looks like the moon is behind him, doesn't it? This came out perfect, and I didn't even plan that. Hi, Jenny. So this is the Billy from CC Designs that we colored like a zombie. He's been a dead zombie for a long time, so he is not bloody or green. He's more of a gray color. So I hope you guys like that. I hope you learned some little techniques and ideas. I also used a stencil that Dale made me. If you guys would really love to have this stencil, let me know. I can try to see if Pajama Crafter wants to carry it in the shop. And just let me know. But I hope you guys like this. It is available. I'll put my affiliate link to the shop in the comments so you guys can get that if you want. But there he is, all zombied out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video tonight. It's a long weekend. You love the techniques I used? Yay! I am glad. I am so happy. So it's a long weekend, so Monday most people are off. So just note that I will still be doing, will I be doing? Yes, I will still be doing a live on Tuesday. Thursday, I'll let you know on Tuesday because Thursday, Pajama Crafter Joy Wilson will be at my house. So I'm not entirely sure what our plan is, but definitely Tuesday next week. So be sure to come and visit, and we will do something else super cool next week. Thank you for making the stencil for me, Dale. I really, really love it. This is the one that we did This is the one that we did on Tuesday this week. So now I have two cards that both go with Hocus Pocus, which is my favorite Halloween movie. Next to, there's one other that is like my all-time favorite, but you'll hear about that in September. But for now, this is my favorite for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I love that you guys join me. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can reach out anytime. Thank you, friends, for being there for me. Huh?
Like and subscribe.
Oh, that's right. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I'm really trying to build my channel. Also, invite friends to the group. I love Hocus Pocus too, Meg. I really do. Meg, I have something to mail to you, so reach out to me and reach out to me. Hi, Roberta. I also, I've been trying to get together a few very small little gifts, so giveaway gifts. So I will be doing some giveaways coming up soon. So pay attention in the group for that. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.